Hey folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Call of Duty United Offensive. And today we're going into the Soviet campaign. And this mission in particular gets a lot of heat from people because we're not actually doing a lot the way that we were in many of the previous missions. We end up shifting around in trenches a lot. And honestly, I don't feel that particular complaint, and I hope you guys will see why. And with me on the ride is...
Hey everybody, it's the Lost Roboca here, and I gotta say, after all of the, Band of Brothers and all the, the gung-ho, let's take down the fortress sort of stuff, it'll be nice to get back to some good old depressing trench warfare with the Russians.
Yeah, it's weird to say, but I do have an appreciation for the Russian campaign for having its artistic sense and order much, in the vein of Base, because I loved the artistic sense of Base so much. But enough gushing about that, let's go ahead and get in there.
Comrades, Supreme Command has learned that the Germans, in a state of desperation, are pinning all their hopes on one final assault against our central front. By achieving a victory here, they hope to overcome their crushing loss to the heroic defenders of Stalingrad, to again regain the offensive. It should come as no surprise that our great leader, Comrade Stalin, has decreed that this must not happen. Fortunately for us, our highly placed source within the ranks of German High Command has uncovered critical details of their plans. We know, for example, that the specific target for their offensive, codenamed Operation Citadel, is our deceptively exposed salient near the outskirts of Kursk. I say deceptively because for the past several weeks we have secretly built up layer upon layer of fortified defensive earthworks where we have deployed the greatest concentration of anti-tank weapons ever committed to a single position. We will need these, for it has come to our attention that the Germans are committing all their available armor to the upcoming offensive, including some new and experimental models. We have been steadily building up our forces, and even now, trainloads of fresh reserves are arriving at the scene. Comrades, our goal here is to break the back of the German armored forces, leaving them incapable of ever again mounting an effective offensive. Once this has been accomplished, our final victory will be assured.
Motherland!
nice entrance to the Russian campaign. It's not as affecting or cinematic as the Red Square charge was, but I wouldn't expect it to be.
No, I was a little disappointed when that one guy told you to get your head down, got gunned down. Everybody else just didn't react.
Yeah, you will get shot if you follow Mr. Elfman's example there.
Grab your ammunition and move to the right flank.
Good luck, comrade.
Quit stalling. Keep moving.
But I can't quit Stalin.
I do kind of like the intro as well because it introduces Corporal Kulikov. Corporal Kulikov will be with us this entire campaign, and he is a bro. He's not the order barking kind like Sergeant Udi is, but he's just a bro.
Got something to say, Karlov?
Are you alright?
A little late on that one there, buddy. Guess he's a little
It
shell-shocked.
was a nice effort, but the timing was just totally off.
Can you imagine being the Germans though and like having your big offensive ready, turning up and fighting? Wow, they're not only ready for you, but they're ready for you quite possibly in a bigger way than you ever expected.
That's the entire idea here.
Next, they attack.
Wait for it, comrades! Hold your fire! Wait for it! Machine guns!
Sergeant Antonov, the commissar there, is also going to be a persistent character in this mission, or not in this mission, in this campaign rather. And I also like his addition because he's a nice contrast to the commissars of the base campaign. He's pretty much what you would expect out of a military leader. He never threatens to shoot you or anything like that. He's just like, fight hard and follow my orders, and we'll get along just fine.
Tends to work that way.
There was a comment in the earlier Russian videos regarding how commissars really eased up closer to the end of the war because, if you didn't lose, an entire square mile if you lost a block. I mean, yeah, they would still say, hey, no retreating, get back the fuck out there, but there wouldn't be any shooting.
That's what happens when morale is up.
Yeah, or at least not in the freaking basement.
Well, they said the beatings will continue until morale improves, and the morale is improved enough, the beatings are no longer required.
I never really thought of it that way, but that's incredibly appropriate.
Good old trenches.
Yeah, ironically enough, this is one of the easiest places to die in this entire mission, just because there's so much fire going around.
Oh yeah. It's very, I'm gonna say, they've done an excellent job of just laying things out on the battlefield. It really looks like and things like that plane streaking by on fire. It's like they've got a really good sense of a battlefield going here. Like you really, unlike the other games where you're sort of moving through an area, here it's you're more often than not in a stationary position. So you've really got to make the whole thing just overwhelm you. You can't just see everything at once.
Yeah, things happen around you. Though I did think it was incredible that you started mentioning the flaming plane, and then it crashed right in front of us.
It was coming around. Just it's tricky to do because you're sitting on a point defending, and the scenery doesn't change. So how do you make that entire sequence enjoyable, at least to be in? And in some ways, I think they've done a pretty good job with it.
Well, it's a very interesting question. When you are forcing your player to remain static, what can you do to make it feel dynamic? And Call of Duty 1 in particular has done an extremely good job of that. Call of Duty 2 does it very well as well. Also, so you guys saw the flamethrowers. Those are hilariously fun weapons for the opponents. If you pick them up, unfortunately, they are terrible.
That's like a rule in video games. I think for the longest time, there was just nothing good about flamethrowers at all.
It's such a tragedy. I mean, there's one thing that flamethrowers are good for in this game, and that's team killing. They are amazing at team killing.
Everyone bunches together. Hey guys, look what I can do.
Pretty much. If you just graze an ally with one of the flamethrower bursts, I mean, they'll catch on fire, and then they'll stay on fire until they are dead. Of course, you know, if you try to light a German on fire, he will probably just use his MP40 that has a much longer range and murder you in under a second.
Through here! Yuri! Elephant tanks! Go out there and plant your charges on them! You men, provide covering fire! Regroup on the north side of the trenches!
Elephant tanks. Is that like a name they give the tanks? Or is it actually like one of those experimental tanks that was being referred to in the briefing?
It is one of the experimental tanks that were being referred to. They are one of the new tanks that are modeled in United Offensive. Basically, the gimmick with the elephant tank is that they don't really have a turret that can move, but their gun is much, much longer and much, much more powerful. They're supposed to be something more like, you know, mobile battering rams. They're really there for shelling things. So you can imagine how they would be a big, big problem here.
A lot of things that come up in the thread relate to, just how the Germans started, like, just seeing whatever they could, like, build and make and throw. And a lot of guys were coming up with concepts for weapons, and, like, vehicles and whatnot. Like, just some of these crazy unworkable ideas solely just so they wouldn't get sent to the front lines, like the engineers and the scientists.
It was a hell of a lot better than just trying something that they knew wasn't working. I do have to give, you know, German High Command high marks for their ability to navel gaze like that. That is something that a lot of powers over the years and centuries have not done very well, is navel gaze and learn from their mistakes. That's one of the things that I feel the Americans did best in the entire war. I mean, out of all the powers in there, they learned from their mistakes and came back from them the fastest. Germans were a very close second, though. And incidentally, when I was mentioning the elephant tanks earlier, I didn't mean to imply that they can't, you know, move their guns. They do have like a little ball bearing where they can adjust their aim, as you see there. But what I meant is they don't have a free swiveling turret like, say, the Panzer IV does.
Strikes me as kind of dangerous for him to have anything but the gun pointing straight ahead anyway. With a gun that big, I would wonder what the recoil would be like if you could throw it onto its side.
That was, yeah, well, I don't know if you could actually throw it onto its side, but that was actually a problem with certain models of the Elephant, was that if their gun was turned too far to the side and they fired, the gun would actually clang on the inside of the tank, and the tank could ruin itself simply by firing.
With some nasty stuff. Also, I like how its cannon sort of just turned up like velvet strung.
It looks so sad like that. I mean, I do like to think that I just broke off the other 3 fingers on the hand, and that's the elephant tank just flipping me off for eternity.
Sad forever.
Or angry forever. I like to think I think it's the latter.
Man, I'd hate to be standing under that thing if it fired too, because it's just like, well, death.
Yeah, and not just that, you saw how, I mean, they do a pretty good job of modeling that simply because you saw how much the freaking earth shook.
That's why I was talking about recoil before.
The main guns on the Elephants were just absolutely insane. I mean, just incredibly powerful. So, you know, for long-range shelling operations in support of infantry, I mean, it was sort of like close-range artillery. Very, very good idea. didn't have too much of a place with the sort of war that was being fought, though.
But we are not through. The Germans are moving through the village, trying to flank us. We have been ordered to drive them out.
So yeah, this is where the truck ride becomes an excellent bit of foreshadowing, I'm guessing, because we're heading back to the village we drove through earlier, aren't we?
I'm very impressed that you managed to pick up on that, because I know that when I first played this game, it took me about 3 times playing this level before I picked up on that. Also, Kulikov is a bro. Thank you, man.
He's got it.
Throwing that potato masher back.
I still love those grenades.
Oh, the stick grenades?
Yeah.
They don't give you too many supplies of any sort in this mission, actually, so I have to ease up on my normal grenade slinging.
Which is obviously having the effect of making it a lot easier for everyone to shoot.
Right. I tend to be pretty angry when I don't have enough grenades, because that means I have to solve more of my problems with bullets. And that means that the Germans are more likely to solve their problems with bullets.
This is why they developed grenade launchers later down the line.
Yeah.
Because there was a World War II equivalent of you, a scientist or something, who just became very mad. Like, he's like, we've got all these guns, but no guns that shoot grenades. And then so eventually, mankind developed the grenade launcher.
Altogether too late for my tastes. I mean, I wish it was in 1941 so I could be using it in this game.
Oh hell, that's still too late. Let's get this in the 1800s.
Because mankind is only at its best when it's making things blow up.
Well, it's only at its best for a video game. We're kind of glossing over all these horrible things that have happened in World War II because, video game.
Dismemberment, eviscerations, and all that other stuff, but...
Bullet wound getting infected.
I
mean, that's just the soldiers.
Yeah.
Still, the greatest atrocity of all is the accents.
Good to see you, comrades. We must clear this village and defend the bridge until our reinforcements arrive. If the Germans take it, we will be surrounded. Ready? Let's go!
I always thought it was sort of a nice touch how your buddy Korolov there actually puts down a Mosin Nagant and picks up a PPSH for this section. This will become relevant in a few minutes, actually.
Would that be the first time a character in one of these games has actually changed his weapons, like, during a level?
That, to my knowledge, yes.
That's impressive, actually. That's something I would never have even considered. Who do they think they are? Us? They want so dearly to be people.
They're still just random number generators. On that note, the random number generators coating the Germans right now are surprisingly annoying this mission. One of the reasons you see me playing so conservatively is that there is very little health around, and the skill rating for the Germans is extremely high. I'm a total coward at this entrance.
Oh, well, that's pretty much what I would call a killing corridor, so I hardly feel like it's cowardice.
I am not sorry. So yeah, we've basically just got to not die for 2 minutes. That can be a lot harder than you think because there's a Panzer on my right, and I have no anti-tank weapons to handle it with. So this is why the weapon switch is suddenly relevant. The reason I like this area is because Korolov will hang around and basically be your rear guard. I will continue to check on him because due to a quirk in his AI, he will randomly leave without telling you. That can be very surprising. But yeah, until he decides to do something like that, he's an incredible bro by holding your back with the PPSH.
It's like, my people need me now, it just sort of like disappears through the floor.
He does. I mean, during my practice run, I ended up dying here at like 5 seconds left, probably about 3 or 4 times, because he ran off to do something, and a German soldier snuck in and beat me to death with his gun.
Maybe you just really needed to go to the bathroom.
I guess so. There he goes!
There he goes. Yeah. 20 seconds left and off he runs. He's obviously got some fight back to do.
He smelled Germans.
Which is impressive, because I'm pretty sure with all the smoke and gunpowder and all manner of other stenches, you probably couldn't smell a whole lot.
I imagine we don't smell any better. So this is why we didn't have any anti-tank weapons.
So you can watch the tanks come up and steal the glory.
And that dude just sort of phasing through one of our tanks.
Will they kill you if you stand in front of them?
I don't think I can stand in front of him. I can't get out there. But
oh, okay.
I will say that after seeing him violate the laws of physics, I was just like, nah, I'm not going to shoot you. You've earned it. You just amused me, so roll on out of here. You deserve to fight another day, man.
For freedom, my friend, for freedom. Which is probably the strangest bunch of statements to hear when you're playing a communist and they're fascists.
No joke.
Excellent work, my friends! You fought shoulder to shoulder with courage and strength, proving on this field of battle that the so-called invincible German army can and will be defeated! Comrade Stalin would be proud of each and every one of you, as I am proud of you, for you have won a great victory here!
Sasarov has brass balls for continuing that speech while people were shooting like 1 foot away from him. I'm just saying.
It's a law everyone knows. You don't shoot the guy making a speech unless he says something entirely poignant, like nothing could possibly go wrong, or now I will get to visit my family.
I would have been really disappointed if somebody had friendly fired him by accident or on purpose and ruined that speech, because it was a pretty good one.
He also didn't take off his hat. That was a big thing.
And the last time somebody did that, he got through okay. Well, but that someone was Foley. So.
That's exactly it. One guy did it. You know, that's pretty much it. All bets are off for everybody else.
Anyway, that introduction to the Russian campaign might have seemed tame, but believe me when I say it gets way harder at the end. As of the time of this recording, I still have not beaten the final defensive operation with anything resembling grace.
Oh dear, you're just gonna be like walking out at the end as the Russian, stereotypical Russian music plays, and you're on fire, and like everything's on fire, and it's just like, yeah, that'll do. And then it'll show you a montage, which has absolutely like makes what you did look a whole lot better. And then the mission ends, Germans, there's a whole bunch of Germans standing around you, you're on fire, but the music's still triumphant.
Honestly, if I die surrounded by corpses, it's a hell of a lot better than the outlook I have for myself right now.
I will say, like, I really did quite like the atmosphere of today's level. Just like I went on about it earlier, so I don't need to reiterate it too much. But yeah, it just seemed like a level that was just designed to look really good, and a lot of thought and care seemed to be put into like placements of things like tanks and whatnot. It all made a lot of sense, and aesthetically it all just sort of fit together. I really appreciated that.
I don't think that the Russian campaign is cribbing off any movies or anything, and I think it benefits for that. Anyway, folks, it's been great, but we should get out of here and let y'all get back to your day. Until we see y'all again, I've been Cool Guy.
I've been the Last Robo Kai.
Take good care of yourselves and all those you love, folks.